Hi everybody! With more and more music instruction currently transitioning to online, now is a good moment to talk about ways that we can still make progress even if we're not meeting in person with our teachers for our lessons anymore. And one way to do that is to help be our teacher's eyes and watch ourselves practice, which is really hard to do as a string player because the instrument itself blocks what our arm and our wrist is doing and we can't see the back of our hand, and it's hard to keep an eye on the wrist and the bow at the same time. But there is a tool that we can use that will help, and it's a mirror. So I want you to find a mirror that you can practice in front of in your house. This may mean you find yourself practicing in the bathroom, and that's okay. Enjoy all the reverb. Luckily for me, I keep a full-length mirror in my studio, so this is the mirror we're going to use for today. Next thing, we need to talk about how to actually stand in front of the mirror when we practice, because it's not important to see our beautiful faces or fantastic outfit. What's important is that our instrument is facing the mirror so that we can see what we're doing here and with our hands and arms and wrists. Not everything else. That can wait. You can admire yourself later. So let's talk about different things that we can use the mirror to help us watch. One of the things that the mirror can be super helpful with is shifting. Shifting's one of those things that's really, really simple when we're not actually holding an instrument, right? All we have to do is close or open our elbow, and that's pretty much it. And everything moves together. Things generally don't get left behind, and we don't turn into like weird sock puppet monsters without the sock. But it's really hard to keep an eye on all of that when our violin's on our shoulder. Because all of a sudden we can't see our arm anymore, and we're trying to hold on to something. But if we watch ourselves in the mirror, we can help keep an eye on all of that and make sure that it's moving the way it needs to. So, stand in front of the mirror so that you can see your violin or your viola and your arm. But that's all you need to be able to see. And watch that shift. Simply close that elbow and everything moves together. And if something goes weird, if something gets left behind, you'll be able to see it. Right? You can see just a little bit of the thumb in there, or if something weird happens to the wrist, especially if you're one of those wrist collapsers, you'll be able to see that in the mirror. You can really keep an eye on that and be able to see exactly what you need to see, even if you can't always feel it right away. Seeing it in the mirror will help you catch it and fix it sooner. The mirror can also help with bow stuff, especially if you just started taking your goalposts out and you're bowing totally by feel. Spending a couple of minutes, don't do that. Don't hit the mirror. Okay, so spend a couple of minutes in front of the mirror. Make sure your bow's at a good sounding point and that we're keeping the bow straight. So again, make sure you can see the violin in the mirror. Make sure you can see your bow in the mirror. Make sure you're at a good sounding point. And it helps keep everything nice and in line. Sometimes if the bow goes crooked, it's kind of hard to notice when you're looking down until you've gotten way, way far towards the point. However, in the mirror, you'll be able to see it right away. Right? All of that you can see really, really quickly. So, let the mirror help you keep an eye on stuff. The mirror can also help with fancier bow stuff. If you're doing things where you really need to keep that your wrist and your fingers loose, you can't always see everything you want to when you look straight down at your hand, but you can see it in the mirror. So you can see. That's better. You can see how the arm's not moving, but you can see how the wrist and the hand are. So let the mirror help you out. You don't have to do all of your practice all of the time in front of the mirror, but try and add in just a couple of minutes of each of your practice sessions, and you'll start to notice that you're catching on to these things. You're catching anything that goes wrong. You're catching it much, much more quickly. And so you can keep moving forward, even if you don't get to see your teacher in person anymore. So make use of a mirror, and happy practice, everybody.